Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga-Texas construction update video.
Hey everybody, I'm back out at Giga-Texas. It's another beautiful day to fly, and there's a lot of activity, which is typical, especially with construction and preparing the overall site for some pretty big construction projects that are going to be coming up here later this year. Now, the biggest of them all is at that far north area where the fields are being prepared for that construction. Now, some of this is the old sand and gravel mine where you have these kind of linear hills and ponds. Other parts of it are these kind of large rectangular fields that have been there before Giga-Texas even started construction, and all of this area is being prepared for that future construction. Now, there is a brand new permit that is one of many that are being filed that are talking about the construction that's going to go on up there. This first one is designated this as the North Campus. And that's kind of significant because within Tesla, they talk about their key facilities in terms of campuses. So this is the Austin campus. Over where Cortex 2 is being built was the Central Campus Support Facilities on the permits. And now with the North Campus, kind of gives us a little bit of an insight about what that's going to be. Now, I have a lot more information about that, and I will be adding that into some future videos with a lot more discussion and description. But suffice it to say, this is a very big deal for Tesla and for Giga-Texas, and kind of represents some recent changes as far as the overall layout of the site. And I'm excited to tell you more about that a little bit later. The last thing I'm going to say here at the beginning of this video is that, as you know, they came out with the new lower cost standard all-wheel drive Cybertruck, and that was kind of a question about how well that was going to be received. Well, it seems like it's being received extremely well. Now, the price of $59,990, which was introduced about 6 days ago, will run till the end of February. And Tesla's already showing that the price will increase starting the 1st of March. So if you're really interested in getting a Cybertruck, now is definitely a time to do that. The other thing that we're hearing is that the deliveries are starting to push out now into the late fall, over into even October or so, because of the amount of interest in the Cybertrucks. The last big indicator about how well this is going is the fact that you can no longer use referrals for that $1,000 off on the Cybertruck. Now, you can get loyalty benefits, but because the reception is so great, Tesla has decided just for the standard all-wheel drive not to have those referral codes anymore. So all of this together really shows that I think Cybertruck is a popular vehicle. It was just the price that was really affecting its sales, and now we're getting a really good sense of how that's going. And I'm really excited for everybody that works here at Giga-Texas, who's put a lot of work into putting those production lines in and getting a Cybertruck ready to be sold. Now this is a great chance for them to see just how popular it is. So great for that product. So without further ado, let's get in the drone, see what else is going on here on this busy Wednesday. And as always, thank you very much for your support.
If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. If you are interested in Tesla products, you can help yourself and support me by using my referral code. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga-Texas. From a beautiful sunrise over Giga-Texas. We are looking at the east side of the property. Of course, you can see Cortex 2, the switch yard. But what I want to do first is start on the far north. And in the distance, you can see that very large rectangular field, also some of the rectangular trees and the lone tree field. That's where we are headed. Before we get there, I wanted to stop here briefly. This is just north of the concrete batch plant that you can see on the right of the screen. And what we are seeing here are these kind of rounded top structures on the containers. This is where some of the items that were at the rental equipment lot in that lone tree field have been moved. So they're putting some of the equipment over by Tesla Road on the west side of the highway, and then some of their shops are being relocated to this location. Just a little north past these trees and along this road, we can see that there's a kind of a rectangular gravel section with geotextile membranes. Not sure exactly what that is for, but as we fly over the trees towards that large rectangular field, of course with a beautiful sunrise coming up over the horizon, there are a few things I want to point out. First of all, at the top center of the screen where the trees are, and you can tell that there is some earthwork. To be honest, I did not notice that during my flight. I just noticed it during the editing, so that will be some place that I go back to revisit, but it appears that they are getting that ready for construction. In addition to that, we can see all of the work here to separate the tree debris and wood from the dirt and all of the piles that are being stacked up. And this is all in preparation for that larger construction project as well. Now, a brand new permit, one of many that are to come, has been filed with the Travis County Permit Office that describes this entire area as the North Campus. And that is significant because Tesla tends to use the term campus for some of their key facilities. In fact, the entire property here is called the Austin Campus. Where Cortex 2 was built, it was called the Central Campus Support Facility. And we know what that is. And then with this North Campus, suggests that this is going to really be important, especially for Optimus, and is finally the location where I believe that they are going to be building the actual factory. That has changed over the last several months since the shareholders meetings, but this is now the final location. As we fly over Lone Tree Field, you might want to know, why do I call it that? Well, on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see that tree coming into view. They have a fence around it, which is great. That means it's being protected, so it will stay. You can also see a lot of the tire tracks around this area. It's used for construction, but also sometimes Tesla employees will come up here and do some off-roading as well. Now, the rental equipment lot continues its dismantling. Almost all of the equipment has been moved away. All of the workshops, shows you where some of those are, and then the rest of the materials are being put over by that west side by Tesla Road. I'm pulling back over towards this location. The bottom of the screen is some of this debris that you can see. The reason why I'm here is you can tell that they are doing this kind of a path and clearing through the trees all the way along this side, heading back towards the battery cathode plant. Now, a couple of years ago, I showed you that they were doing some surveying here and marking all of the trees. And this is the continuation of that work. What we are seeing is preparations to bring River Road all the way around from the south side along the southeast to this location, and then connect up where we saw that debris on Lone Tree Field. While we are also here, I thought I would turn back, and you can see the rental equipment lot on the right, the trees in the top center with the hills and valleys, and also all that dirt that we saw early in the video, and you can tell where some of the earthwork is being done at the center of the screen. At this point here is the Lippmann concrete crushing operation, and this is clearing out all of the old concrete in this location as well. You can tell with the height of this large pile that they've really been busy, and much of this material in the section directly ahead has been cleared out. Still a lot more to go. Interestingly enough, that pipe at the left-hand side of the screen we're just passing over is one of the last remnants of the original baghouse filtration plant by the concrete plant, and that is now where the electrical switch yard is located. So still keep watching that to see when that is finally going to be done. We do see some dirt being brought in here and piled up. There's a dump truck doing that right now. And this is all part of this large area preparing for that North Campus construction site, and also bringing River Road through this location and some other construction. Of course, here is the transformers that are waiting to be installed on the west side of Cortex 2. And I think that this keeps changing around a little bit, so we may be seeing some more arriving. As we get to the crash test facility, we know today that they don't have the Cybercabs on the north end outside here. I suspect that they are inside the crash testing facility getting ready for that crash testing. I also mentioned that they are going to be building Cybercabs over the next several weeks, and much of those as part of making sure that the line is good, but they will also be bringing them here for crash testing. So we'll see a lot more of that going on. The crash test dummy, or also known as the anthropomorphic test device lab, is coming along. You can see much of the wall decking has been installed, or paneling, and also materials are being put on the inside now. And as I rotate around, you can see that concrete vault on the side and how this is positioned in relation to all of the crash test facility. So I'm going to bring the drone up. We'll kind of maneuver around here on the east side, looking back across the field kitchen towards the battery cathode plant. And as I continue to pull away, we'll be over this large mound of dirt. I think that I now know what this is for. This is part of this entire process to prepare this site for that construction, and also to bring River Road along this location. And you can kind of see some of the clearing that's being done by the tree line on the left-hand side of the screen. A consequence of all of that work is that this old maintenance shop for the concrete trucks has got to go, and all of this is being prepared for demolition, and also the very tall dirt mound is being prepared for cleanup with all of these concrete parts, and probably using some of that dirt for the construction as well. Here's a great view along this area where it's being cleared and prepared, and at the top left you can see that work to extend River Road towards this location. We're going to go back and visit that a little bit closer later in the video. For right now, I just wanted to kind of fly around here, show you the trailers for the contractor offices, some of the materials that are being stored here, some of the workshops, some of these larger facilities. And one other thing that I will mention is, now that we have that North Campus and we know where River Road's going to be extended through, for the time being, the East Warehouse on Wheels will not be moving, and these trailers, offices, materials, and workshops in the middle part of this eastern side where we just flew over should be staying here for some time while all the major construction is continuing. So it's been a lot of change over the last several months, and in trying to get a handle of where everything is going, but that's pretty much where we are right now, and I will cover that more in depth on a later video. For now, we are on the south side of Cortex 2. We see that the temporary chillers have been expanded, and I will show you that closely here momentarily. At the bottom of the screen, we see more excavation work that is being done with that kind of orange fence around it. This is a part of the big process to connect a wastewater line that runs from Cortex 2 all the way around the East Warehouse on Wheels to the River Road extension down to the south side of the building. As I mentioned, they are expanding the number of coolers. They've added 5 more. The total is now 17. You can see the pipes that have been extended from the building here, and these blue items that are part of the system to get this up and running. Nearby, the fan enclosures for number 5 and 6 fans is really making a lot of progress. They even got some of the decking on the fiber reinforced polymer beams, also some of the pipes at the top. And I think this work will go fairly quickly. We've already seen that the fan shrouds have been delivered to the site, and they will be assembled probably in another week or two and put on the top of that new structure. On this section between the battery cathode plant on the right and Cortex 2 on the left, you can see this large workshop. Much of the materials that are being stored here, also trenching, work for roads, and as we get in closer, the second part of the chiller system with 6 more kind of footings and segregated concrete slab for those fan units that will mimic what we just saw on the part 1 with the fans on the roof. More of the excavation work coming to this part of the site, extending towards this pond. You can see these large concrete pipe segments being positioned into this trench, and that's connecting into some existing pipes that have already been installed throughout this entire area. As I kind of maneuver around, a good view of the north end of the Cortex 2 and some of the groundwork on the left-hand side of the screen. I'll bring the drone down lower, fly over this material, some of the pipes that are being delivered on yard trucks, some are on the ground, and just more materials that are being brought in. Just kind of stop here briefly. I wanted to take a look at what is on the ground here. We see the truck with the blue-topped crates, but the items on the bottom are actually just ice buckets, but I am expecting eventually the false floors being brought here for installation inside, and I'll keep looking for that, and I will let you know when I do see that. Screw-type piers are being positioned for installation on these stripes on the asphalt. Also, you can see more of them on the left, some of the conduit risers, and just preparing for the platforms for the transformers and other electronic cabinets. On the bottom of the screen, the lower piers, we are now seeing the beams being delivered. Those will be put on those lower piers to support the mega packs, and then of course the platforms that they're building in here for the electrical equipment. And then what we see in the middle is what we will expect all the way along this side of the building. The Saren's crane is still down, not being used right now. Of course, the cable trays across the parapet wall and to the interior of the building continue to have some of that work done and the connections made. Kind of maneuver around here on this south side, show you again that excavation, some of the other depressions here on the south end of the building. We'll see what that turns out to be. And for now, I'm going to reposition over towards the electrical switch yard, and we'll take a look at some of the developments there. Footing work continues along with the slabs, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen and throughout the entire middle. That'll be for the steel erection to match what the rest of the site looks like right now. You can see some of those pipe segments here on the ground for the A-frames. And then next to where those A-frames will be mounted, we see the slab. On the top of the slab are some of the grates that go in that catch basin. And of course, more work being done on the existing transformers on the right-hand side of the screen. The bottom of the screen shows more work in the connecting underground vaults and these trailers. And as I kind of maneuver the drone around, a good view of the mega pack for Cortex 1 and more of the deliveries of these items. The large white packed items are for HVAC systems for the roof of Cortex 2, and some other materials here in red and white. And next to the crane on the ground are those false floor panels that I'm looking forward to, that I mentioned earlier. I'm looking to see when they're going to be moved in for installation, because once those are done, then they can start bringing the electrical cabinets for the computers and the data center for installation. Here are those fan enclosures that are being stored along with the fan motors and drive systems. So we're going to position back towards the main factory here. We'll start at the melt center, and I will zoom in and just show you what work is going underway today. The loader on the right still hasn't really been used yet. It looks like the aluminum wheels are ready for replenishment, and I did see the truck coming in, bringing recycled wheels to continue that operation. Many castings, a lot of them in rack mounts here along the side of the building. And interestingly enough, on the third floor, there's a connection point inside to bring the Cybercab castings directly from the casting section to the production line, which starts right about here behind this large window. So they're trying to get a better handle on how the castings are produced and then transferred to the production lines, and the Cybercab line is better suited for that because of how they built in the factory. As we get to this material staging yard, just a good look at everything that's being stored here. Some of the items have been brought in from the east side, and it continues to grow in the amount of materials being stored there. Here is the clearing and also River Road extension. You can tell with the work on the darker colored dirt that they are really defining now where River Road will come through this section. Now, an interesting data point is that Giga-Texas has its own road crew. They are the ones that are responsible for building the River Road extension all the way around to that far north side where that Lone Tree Field is. They're also the ones that will be extending Tesla Road past the south end of Cortex 2, and the die shop will connect eventually into this building, or this roadway on the east side of the building complex where the battery cathode plant is located. So we get to this intersection. This work is continuing. You can see that they are doing excavation work on the left side of where River Road will be. And a lot of this work is part of that wastewater system that is being connected all the way up to Cortex. As we get to the east side of the parking garage and also this staging yard, just a really good different view of the materials that are stored here, plus continued work excavation-wise for the drainage system. As we pass on the north side of the parking garage, we'll come back and do one last look here on the east side of the building. And behind the walls here, through most of this section is where Cybercab is got the production lines. And they continue all the way to next to where these two vertical tanks are. That smaller door is the exit point for the Cybercabs. Those large tanks are used for filling up parts of the vehicles, kind of that construction or production process to make sure that they have all the fluids in them that they need. And here's a great view next to the stamping machine section with some of the materials still waiting for unpacking in those wooden crates, and some of the other rental equipment that is stored around here. As we pass the cooling unit for Cortex 1, I'll keep the zoom in just to show you some of the work that's being done here on River Road along this side of the site. You can see those yellow construction fences along the kind of south berm where that excavation work is being done for pipe. And that is extending along this south side of River Road all the way over to where we saw that large clearing and coming into view here, and a good view of that pipe right now. So I'm going to zoom out. We're going to fly along the east side. We'll reposition the drone to the west side of the factory, and we'll resume the narration on that side. As you can tell from this perspective, most of the work south of River Road has now been completed and the trenching has all been filled back in. The bottom of the screen where I'll bring the drone down is where the caisson used to be. Now we can just see a small kind of concrete manhole cover next to the workers, and of course the top of that very tall but now submerged vault that extends all the way down into where we saw a tunnel being bored that goes underneath the intersection and connects over to another caisson to the south side of River Road. So all of this work, especially along the berm here that we are flying over, seems to be closing in on being completed, although some final work still needs to be done off to the upper left that you can see on the screen. I thought I would take a look at what was going on with production today. At the moment that I brought the drone down here, there were no vehicles exiting the factory, but as you'll see as we fly over to the west side, vehicles are driving over for processing. I just picked a bad time to try to drop the drone in here. I'm going to continue to kind of move the drone to point back to the west. Nice view of the flags, the end of line facility, the outbound lot, which is very busy, and downtown Austin in the upper right. You can see Model Ys arriving on the left in the 4 sorting lanes, and then here on the north end getting ready to go inside. We also see that the semi must be out doing some work. It is not at the mega charger, and more vehicles on the left of the screen getting ready for direct delivery. Now there is a big development that I want to show you on this side of the site, and this has to do with the clearing that we've been watching over the last several weeks. They finally have kind of a surface that they can use, and as you can tell, they are now bringing a lot of those concrete construction items and vaults from the south side to this location, and this continues that trend of clearing out that south side that you can see at the very top of the screen in preparation for new construction. And I do have some news about that, which I will be sharing here momentarily. You can also see on the right hand side of the screen where they're preparing for the road to extend through this section just to the west of this material staging and the east of the housing complex. More and more of these transformers continue to be stored here, and it looks like a few more have been added at the south end. And we've seen a lot of this material staging yard, so for today I thought I would bring the drone up over the power lines and show you what is going on here. And this is actually pretty exciting. First of all, we've been seeing all of the excavation work off to the right and storage of dirt and the removal of the gravel on top of this old contractor parking lot. And now this is all being converted and changed over for a new construction project. Looks like they may be starting to fill in part of the pond here, and there is some more earthwork that's being done on the upper left. As I pull the drone back, I want to kind of give you an overview of this entire area. You can see that lot on the left, the large dirt section in the center, and on the right is the continuation of this lot. It has a lot of the risers, the conduit risers for lighting. What I'm hearing is that this entire section is going to, for the first time, or at least for a very long time that's been coming, is to allow Giga-Texas to have a test track. And it seems like with all of the moves and the changes of what they wanted to do with the entire site, the current thought is that this is where we will see a test track being built. To do that, they have to clear out all of this materials, and this is where they are picking this concrete parts up and moving them to that kind of triangular new section that we saw a little bit earlier. And I would suspect most of this to be cleared out. Now, if you were to take a look at the Fremont factory test track, and if you were to keep it at the same scale and drop it in right here, if they kept that same design, it would actually fit in that lot. So I'm kind of curious to see what design they end up coming up with. And it's certainly another major thing to be tracking as more and more changes and expansion here at Giga-Texas continues. I'll bring the drone down here briefly. We'll see the vehicles arriving on the right on that road to the end of line, passing the Cyber Tunnel. And then here at the outbound lot, a great view of the activity that is going on. A lot of Model Ys, some of the Cybertrucks. I did see several transport trucks leaving the site with loaded up with Cybertrucks today. I think we're a little bit early to start seeing the massive production to catch up with the sales that have seemed to be going extremely well with Cybertrucks right now with that introductory price and the standard all-wheel drive, but it'll be something I continue to watch. But nevertheless, a lot of Model Ys being built, as you can tell. So that'll bring us to an end of this particular video, kind of wide-ranging all over the site with some pretty big news and developments on construction that we will see in the near future. As always, thank you for your support. Appreciate it. Have a great week.